Welcome back to The Patient Man. What a day. Another absolute stunning day down on the beach here. Found a nice little spot, a little cove here. I thought I'd just drop a bit of scenic work. I don't know how it looks, but I'm trying, I'm learning. Today's subject is, I believe, a pretty big one for men as well. So the subject today is body dysmorphia. Body dysmorphia. It is a really strong, shame-built, I would say, it's a diagnosed condition. I don't know, I personally have never been diagnosed with it, but I'm 150% sure I have definitely got body dysmorphia. Reasons would be underlying of, I have always identified heavily with my physical body, and I've shared that in recent videos, and it's always been something I've really identified with. And when I was playing sports, I had a certain physique, and when I was bodybuilding, I had a certain physique, and I always wanted to be bigger, to be better, to be leaner, to be all these things. And just never been happy with self. Not being happy with what I've got. And I'm realizing now how important it is to be happy with what you got and still strive for your goals and have good, healthy goals for yourself, but not to torture yourself over them. Now, I would say I've really helped myself get through majority of that. But there is one thing, and I've never told anyone this, and my wife's the only one who knows. But the way I shame myself into, I do it unconsciously almost. I do it without even thinking. Sometimes I catch myself, but let's say I'll walk around, and if I'm feeling a bit off for the day, I'll give myself a skin fold test, or I'll do it here, or whatever it might be, and always judging myself on my adiposity, how much fat I've got, or where it is, or how I want it to be, and that's a little part of me that I still haven't worked out and haven't got through, and I'm happy to share that. It is something that it's not crippling anymore. I don't let it completely destroy me, but it happens a lot more than I'd like it to. But that's just me, and I'm healing from years of that identification with body. And I feel like there's moments where I actually stop doing that, when I can center myself as much as possible, I can ground myself, and the more present I am, the less I actually do that. And the less I do it, I perceive that I actually feel like I lose more weight when I don't worry about it by the pinching and shaming, which is really sad, but that's just what it is. That's me as in my raw self. And when I go to the gym, I don't do it anymore, which is really good. I'm actually more proud of myself at the gym than I used to be. When I was a bodybuilder and I was competitive, I still looked at myself like I could do this better, I could do that better. And I still do it now, but I do it with grace. I do it with respect to myself, and I do it with love. It's not a shame or guilt that I'm destroying myself. You need to have bigger arms, bigger this. It's just what it is. So, body dysmorphia for me, undiagnosed, but I'm diagnosing myself. I've 100% got it, and I think most people do. In this day and age, you go on your YouTubes and TikToks and all that stuff, and all these young men and young women wearing nothing and Everyone's seeing that, and it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, because if YouTube had been around when I had a, quote, fantastic physique, I would have obliterated it, more than likely. But it's only going to become more apparent in the generations after us that there's going to be a lot of issues with body dysmorphia, and I think there already is. And I just want to let you know that you are enough. You're whole. Yes, you might have a few things you would like to work on, but don't shame yourself and guilt yourself into, you know, under eating or not eating at all, or overtraining, or looking at yourself with disgust in the mirror. It's hard. I know I shouldn't say that because I still do that to myself, but I'm just sharing with you guys how I feel about it and how I've worked through my own version of a body dysmorphia. And it's real. It really does hurt. And I just hope that we can get past the physical form to a certain degree and see what's inside, which is really important. I've never really shared any of that before about my body dysmorphia, but I don't think it's a surprise to people who know me. Yeah. So anyway, question of the day. When did your reflection become your enemy? When did your reflection become your enemy? If I can try to go back and think about when I started to really identify with it, it would have been around when females were present, when it started to become that pull and that testosterone of starting to try to please the other sex or the opposing, the opposing sex. Would have been the start of, I would say, my body dysmorphia. And I think I'm going to assume, now please don't peel me apart, women, but I assume it's also the other way around. Women would also do the same thing when it comes that time of the courting process and understanding that when we first meet, we all look at each other. So the first thing is visual. And I think we put too much emphasis on that. So for me, I think I would say around the ages of 11 to 12 is when it started, maybe a bit younger. And it only got worse from there onwards. So be kind to yourself. Love yourself as much as you can. I know it's hard sometimes, I really do. And just remember, when you're in the gym or when you're walking or whatever exercise you may do as a man, whatever you do as a man, just remember patience with yourself, patience with others, and patience in life. It's really, really important. Give yourself space. Love you all. Have a really beautiful day.